First and foremost, before we get started, I like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Hashem, Rekah Kwadash, and the one still great millstone, while that's his truth. And also to those elect that scattered abroad. I like to say, Shalom, and come back here today with another great and powerful lesson to the spirit and the power of Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. So the title of today's lesson is Economic Shift and Rising Tension. So I like to say Shalom to all of this and learn. Hope this will help you today and guide you back in the path of righteousness and back to your true power, which in fact is Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. So before we start today's lesson, let's get a quick news article here. It says by Watcher Guru. And it reads that Swift ready to launch CBDC and challenge BRIC currency. Let's get a little bit more. It said the global bank messaging system SWIFT is planning to launch a new central bank digital currency, CBDC. The SWIFT CBDC is a significant development in the changing financial landscape that's looking to uproot the U.S. dollar hegemony. The new digital escrow system is currently in the nascent stage and could be launched in the next 12 to 24 months. The development puts the SWIFT CBDC in direct competition to challenge the yet to be released BRIC currency. So what we're looking at is here, we know that we'll get ready to transition into a digital society, a cashless society, a digital programmable, also implantable. We already know that the ultimate goal is that grain of rice, the charagma, you know what I'm saying, to track and tag everyone on the planet. Also, we know this is going to be dealing with your biometrics, also digital IDs, social credit scoring, also face recognition, you know what I'm saying, hand, palm, face, and eye scanning. All these things are getting ready to come into play. We already know that stage is already set. So we're seeing all these distractions over here with Baltimore, with the bridge. This cargo ship is running into that bridge, collapsing it. So we already know all these things were by design, order out of chaos. So we already know that will cause hyperinflation. So we knowing that, they constantly bringing forth all the chaos to bring forth the solution. They want total control, that NWO. So we already know we're coming upon this one world currency, a digital society. One thing about it, where they will have total control. They get ready to force you in a chokehold. And one thing about it, you will not be able to buy and sell without having it under the skin. So this new society that they get ready to put into place, this 5G, 6G blockchain system, they want total control. It's going to deal with a lot of surveillance, have you under surveillance 24/7. And also, you want to be able to go into certain places. A lot of things are getting ready to come to play. It's unrighteous decree. Also, Tartarian law is getting ready to come into play. Also, we know that these lockdowns, also these 15-minute cities, a lot of these things get ready to come into play. So we're seeing that they're getting ready to transition into this digital society, this cashless society. We're seeing it happening right before our eyes. So they're rolling it out right before our eyes. So what does SWIFT mean? It means Society Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunications. That's what it means. So we seeing that we're getting very close to this. So we knowing that the devil's getting ready to come down with great wrath. We already knowing that last year in April they launched the FedNow app. So this gonna work hand in hand with the FedNow app. So one thing about it, we already knowing that the fiat currency, which in fact is the dollar, you know what I'm saying, the petrodollar, is getting ready to be a thing of the past. You shall throw your silver and your gold in the street. It's getting ready to be worthless. And we're constantly warning you left and right. We know all this going, and also we know that they're gonna come with this universal basic income. A lot of people going to trust in the strength of this system, and they will be totally destroyed. So we know that it's coming upon us at a fast pace, this 5G blockchain system. So you will own nothing and be happy. That's what it's boiling down to. And also we constantly hearing left and right these rumors about April the 8th, this solar eclipse. So what are they planning? Is this the real deal? And one thing about it, we're getting ready to find out. And one thing about it is that we knowing that we coming into some turbulent times. We knowing that we coming into some perilous time, a dangerous time that we have never seen before. Jacob's trouble is at the door. Also what the hour of temptation. In the middle of the Lord, we're standing on our watch, and we'll stand on fire for Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. So we know that a lot of these things are get ready to come into play. So a lot of people right now still thinking that, their finance will save them. They're thinking that they're doomsday preppers. They're thinking that they have it all figured out. Oh, I'm already ready for. No, you're not ready. But one thing about it, the Lord's getting ready to bring forth judgment. And one thing about it, if the Lord is not on your side, you'll get ready to die. We constantly warn you left and right. It is here. It is at the door. So before we start today's lesson, we would get ready to go with a quick precept, and after the precept, we'll start the video. Let's go here to start here in Ecclesiastes chapter 9 and verse 12. So I have the blue letter, and I have two different versions, the parallel version. I have the NLT on the left side, and I have the KJV on the right hand side for what edification purpose. So let's read the KJV version first. It says, Ecclesiastes chapter 9 and verse 12 says, for a man also knoweth not his time, as the fishes that are taken in a evil net, and as the birds that are caught in the snares, so are the sons of men snared in a evil time, when it falleth suddenly upon them. So a lot of people gonna get caught up in this new digital society. The one that saves his life shall lose his life. A lot of people gonna feel that is very convenient. All you have to do is wave your hands. Very harmless. Very, quick. A lot of people love the sense of security. But one thing about it, that you're in for a rude awakening. And one thing about it, it's never trust thy enemy. A lot of our people right now, they're going to trust in this system that they'll get ready to put into play, and it will cause you to be totally destroyed. And one thing about it, the Lord already told you, if you take it under the skin, you're going to have to suffer that second death when you go to Revelation chapter 14. And one thing about it, that we constantly warn you. So let's see this other version here, the NLT in the blue letter. It said people can never predict when hard times might come. So like fish in a net or birds in a trap, people are caught by sudden tragedy. So that's what's getting ready to happen. A lot of people gonna get caught up all of a sudden, in their security. When they say what? Peace and safety, and then total destruction will come upon you. Just like right now, sunshine today. It's a beautiful day, and all of a sudden, all hell is getting ready to break loose. That evil net is fast approaching. That digital society, that grain of rice. We constantly warning you left and right. All hell is getting ready to break loose. So now, let's start today's video. Then after the video, we will start the lesson, and I hope that you will get edified.
If the Key Bridge being taken down, Puff Daddy being taken out, and men punching women in New York is a distraction, I think I know what it is distracting us from. Because while all of us were talking about all of those things, this headline was going unnoticed. Yeah, that's right. They are starting their second phase of the CBDC rollout. And as of right now, they have 38 institutions which are joining them on this next move in the venture. And while we are all sitting around trying to figure out what's going on with Puff Daddy and why our bridges are being taken out, they're over here making money moves, baby. And some of you might be like, what is SWIFT? It's the Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunications. And this is a group comprised of 3,500 investors, because they're getting ready to put us on a one world currency. And that currency is known as central banking digital currency. And once we are all moved to this new currency, it's gonna be some problems. So all of this chaos that you see continuously happening probably is a setup in the first place. I mean, you gotta create chaos before you can give them a solution, right?
Hey, what's up, guys? TikTok just sent me a notification, said if I get one more strike, they're gonna permanently ban me off TikTok. It is what it is. Fuck it. The ship that hit that bridge got something to do with the Fed, the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve just came out the other day and said that inflation is pretty much like they've lost the fight with inflation. So shit is going to get more expensive. And I guarantee you with that chip hitting that bridge, it got something to do with the hyperinflation that's on the way. Shit's going to go extremely expensive. And they want to make sure they keep the attention off of what the federalist government, which is the federal government is doing, which is blowing all the money, spending all the money, and devaluing the dollar. They know it's crashing, and that fucking ship hit that bridge was a deflection, and they're going to try to blame that shit on the bridge and the ship for the reason why a gallon of milk is going to be fucking $10, and the bread, a loaf of bread is going to be fucking $7, and gas maybe, I don't know, who knows, but that's the reason why the ship hit the bridge. Let's get it.
CBDCs, programmable digital currencies, are moving even faster than we thought. SWIFT, the world's largest provider of financial services, just announced a triumph in their CBDC testing. They announced that because of this, they will be launching a central bank digital currency platform in the next 12 to 24 months. This changes everything. The reason that this is so important is because SWIFT's existing network is already usable in over 200 countries and by over 11,000 banks. Instead of every single country, each individual bank having to come up with a connection point in a space that, quite frankly, is tech savvy and difficult to understand, this would already be integrated. A flip of the switch option would make things move at a much larger scale and a much more rapid pace. SWIFT's very own head of innovation, Nick Kerrigan, said, and I quote, "This is moving out of the experimental phase and towards something that is becoming a reality." As a quick reminder, central bank digital currencies would take away all of our financial freedoms, remove any kind of privacy we had, and would mean that there would be complete control by the government because these are fully programmable digital currencies. Time to protect yourself is today, not a year from now, not a month from now. Make sure that you have your affairs in order today and that you're protected outside of the system, outside of the fiat US dollar, with tangible real assets such as gold or silver.
Everywhere she goes, Oh-Young Hao-Yu is followed. What she buys, how she behaves, is tracked and scored to show how responsible and trustworthy she is. It's called the social credit system, and in one version now being tested, a person's reputation is scored on a scale of 350 to 950. And Hao-Yu, with a good score of 752, is okay with it. In fact, most people are.
Is a mechanism like pushes you to become a better citizen?
It's big data meets Big Brother, expanding how the government monitors, understands, and ultimately controls its 1.4 billion citizens. Thanks to advances in artificial intelligence and facial recognition, and a web of more than 200 million surveillance cameras.
Are people bothered by privacy concerns?
We think the lot of camera keep the safety is really good. We can accept it.
Companies are experimenting with the algorithms to help the government create the new national social credit system. The government also has pilot projects. In one, citizens are required to do hours of unpaid work to get benefits. And scores are docked for things like littering, a messy yard, gossip, even jaywalking. Video of offenders is shown on the local news. And information collectors like Zhou Aini are paid to report on their neighbors. Her quota, 10 entries a month. Like the man who carried a drunk person home. A good deed, she says. Good social credit gets rewarded with perks like cheap loans and travel deals. But a bad score means public shame and worse. Huang Huijun lost a court case and didn't pay. Now he's on a government blacklist. I can't buy airplane or train tickets, he says, and the list goes on. Being discredited makes it hard to get a job or put kids in top schools. The social credit system will go nationwide next year, and few here are willing to criticize it. Something that may pose a risk itself for a bad score and the life that comes with it.
German banking economist Richard Werner was selected as a global leader for tomorrow by the World Economic Forum in Davos in 2003. Here, he tells us an insider's view of what to soon expect, and says the only way to survive the Great Reset is for us to immediately begin setting up our own banking system.
In each domicile, they should be locally set up and authorized by the local regulators, and it's a profitable investment. Banking is profitable. Yeah. So the investors would get a return while the local community would get a return, and it's a way of delaying, perhaps even preventing the introduction of CBDCs. They have literally delayed their agenda because I think it's so important to them. They've been very careful about the timing, and let's wait a little longer, let's have this crisis first, let's have COVID first, soften them up. But they've delayed because the technology was already ready around 2015 to roll out. And what people don't mention is, what do these CBDCs actually look like? At the moment, there's a bit of talk about this being phone-based apps. And yes, that is the initial phase. But what was already ready around 2015 is the ultimate goal. What they really want, apparently, I was told by a central banker, is, CBDCs looks like a small grain of rice that they want to put under your skin, which is, in my view, a violation of human dignity. And they realize there is a hurdle. So to get people to accept this, there will be, why suddenly are all the billionaires saying, let's have universal basic income? Because the story is going to be, now we've created this vast unemployment and disruption and crises. Well, we need universal basic income. You will get 2,000 euros into your account every month. But of course, to run this efficiently, we need to use the latest technology. So, you need the CBDC chip implant. But how many people will say, okay, fine, £2,000, 2,000 euros,
A surprising proportion, shockingly, obviously, to me or yourself, but we've seen years ago in Sweden, there has been a substantial small minority take-up of what's currently much larger. It's kind of like a little cylinder in stainless steel, I guess. Maybe it's titanium or something. And they're doing it because they just want to. They want to be early adopters of this nonsense. So if anyone's listening and that sounds fanciful or conspiracy theorish, the fact is, in Sweden, they are taking it up, and in other places, and that's not coming out of nowhere.
The Bank for International Settlements recently published a report called Blueprint for the Future Monetary System, Improving the Old, Enabling the New. This report proposes that a central bank digital currency will serve as the new reserve currency and calls for the digital confiscation of all physical property by assigning every real-world item its own unique digital token, which will contain rules on how each item can and cannot be used, so that each person can be controlled and conditioned directly by the central bank. Reporting for InfoWars, this is Greg Reese.
We're seeing that we're very close to this time. We're seeing that things are transitioning. So we're transitioning into a digital society. And also we knowing that the war drums are beating. We already knowing that Russia warships are in the Red Sea. So we already knowing that the Red Sea is a major choke point of the world, grain and all sorts of different merchandise, also oil, so we already know that America is there, Great Britain is there, also China, Iran, and also Israel. So we already know that it's already been prophesied that the Lord shall remove the northern army far from their border. Joel chapter 20. We'll get that in a minute. So we'll start today's lesson. And once again, I hope that you will get edified. We'll start off in the book of Revelations chapter 11 and verse 14. Revelation chapter 11. Let me scroll down to it one moment. And verse 14. We'll get this one right quick. And we'll start today. Let me highlight it right quick. Revelation chapter 11 and verse 14. I got two versions, the blue letter, the NLT, and also the KJV. So I'm going to read the KJV version first. It said, the second woe is past, and the third, and behold, the third woe come quickly. So one thing about when you go into that word woe, it means destruction. So we already know that World War III is coming very quickly. We're seeing it fast approaching. We're seeing once again, Russia warships are in the Red Sea as we speak. We knowing that things are constantly intensify over there with Ukraine, also in different parts of the so-called Middle East. We knowing that these things are getting ready to come into play. We knowing that the Lord is gathering the nation. Joel chapter 2, also Ezekiel chapter 38, these things come into play. And also the ultimate goal is that that grain of rice, it is fast approaching. So now let's read this again in the NLT. It said the second terror is past, but look, the third terror is coming quickly. So one thing about it, it's coming very at a fast pace. When people are right now in their security, people are not aware of these things are constantly picking up. Seeing what went on with the Baltimore Bridge, and also two other bridges. All these different calamities and events they constantly putting in your face, and now everybody constantly rolling out this digital society right before your eyes. So now let's go here to Zephaniah. Let's go here to Zephaniah. Zephaniah chapter, that's in the Old Testament. Zephaniah chapter 1, and we'll start up. Zephaniah chapter 1, we'll start up at verse 10. Zephaniah chapter 1, and we'll start up at verse 10. And it reads, and it shall come to pass in that day, says the Lord, that there shall be the noise of a cry from the fish gate, and a howling from the second, and a great crashing from the hill. And everybody's talking about economic collapse, also the stock market. We already know these things are getting ready to come into play. We already know that everything is constantly declining. We're seeing the infrastructure is constantly declining. Our economy is constantly inclined. We're seeing all sorts of things that have, sown places becoming unsown. We already knowing that, it's already rumors of hyperinflation, so the prices of food and water, gas, fuel is getting ready to go up in ways that you do not know how. We already knowing that we're coming upon a great famine, great desperation and sorrow is fast approaching. So it's right upon us that great crashing in the hill. So we already knowing about the one that happened in 1929 through 32, that the Great Depression, and also it was another one in 08. You know what I'm saying? But it's gonna far succeed this. It's gonna be one that they're gonna never come back for. This is gonna be the collapse, and they'll never rise again. This is gonna be it right before the great and glorious return of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. We already know, hey man, it's fast approaching. It's all over the place. Verse 11 says, "How ye inhabitants of Maktash, for all the merchant people are cut down, all they that bear silver are cut off." So this talking about an ancient stock market where they was doing a lot of buying and selling, selling their produce and merchandise, all sorts of things, that they was constantly exchanging right there. So that's was an ancient stock market back then. So we seeing, it is getting ready to be cut completely off. We seeing it happening right before our eyes with this Baltimore Bridge incident. So that was a major choke point right there on the East Coast. And also there was a major port there. It's been closed indefinitely. So we know we're going to have a lot of food short, a lot of things that you're not going to be able to get. It's all by design. So let's read the NLT version. It said, "Wail in sorrow, all you who lived in the market area, for all the merchants and traders will be destroyed. That's right. All these things are getting ready to dry up. You know what I'm saying? Your silver and your gold shall you know what I'm saying, shall be a stumbling block. Verse 12, it said, and it shall come to pass at that time that I will search Jerusalem with candles and punish the men that are settled on their leagues, that say in their heart, the Lord will not do good, neither will he do evil. So right now, you know, a lot of people right now are relaxing, not paying attention, not knowing the signs of the time, not being circumspect, you know, constantly going on with their daily life. And all of a sudden, you know what I'm saying, things are getting ready to happen. You're in for a rude awakening. A lot of people will gonna be at the breaking point. A lot of people going to commit suicide. They're gonna give up the ghost when this time of trouble comes. You got a lot of people saying this is not gonna happen, that is not gonna happen. But guess what? It is happening right before your eyes. So all the gainsaying and all the lies and deceits and unbelievers, it's getting ready to be a thing of the past. So let's read it in the NLT. And I'm hoping I'm not confusing anyone going back and forth here, but it's side by side, so it should be edifying. It says here, it said in the NLT version, it said, I will search with lanterns in Jerusalem. It said darkness, the darkest corners, to punish those who sit complacent in their sin. They think the Lord will do nothing to them, either good or bad. So, you know, that's these wicked two-thirds right now. They thinking nothing like this is going to happen in their lifetime. The Lord love everyone. Everyone can be saved. Still talking about white man Jesus. And look what Putin just did. He just opened up the vaults and showed you your history. And a lot of people still are games saying, still are not believing. And it's right in front of your face. And the Lord's getting ready to destroy this place. Verse 13 said, therefore their goods shall become a booty, and their houses a desolation, and they shall also build houses, but not inhabit them, and they shall plant vineyards, but not drink wine thereof. Verse 14, the great day of the Lord is near, it is near, and hasten greatly, even the voice of the day of the Lord, and the mighty men shall cry there bitterly. Verse 15, it says here, it said, that day is a day of wrath, a day of trouble and distress, a day of wasteness and desolation, and a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness. So when the Lord returned in the midst of World War III, he's going to return with all that nuclear exchange, you know, that thermonuclear exchange. So we already know there's going to be a lot of ash, a lot of darkness, you know what I'm saying, a lot of debris, and also the body count will be great. So the Lord's going to return in the midst of all that devastation. And one thing about it, hey, the Lord is getting ready to set the record straight. Verse 16, it said, for a day of trumpets and an alarm against the fenced city and against the high towers. Verse 17, it said, and I will bring distress upon men, that they shall walk like blind men, because they have sinned against the Lord, and their blood shall be poured out as dust, and their flesh as dung. So that's what's getting ready to happen. It's getting ready to be a lawless time. Sedition among men, insurrection, you know what I'm saying? All sorts of lawlessness is getting ready to come upon us. In the middle of the Lord, we constantly want. And a lot of people are still not believing. And these things are constantly happening. They're putting it right in your face. The devil's not hiding anymore. He's showing his hand right now, because the Lord is what is revealing all things. Things that was in the dark is coming to the light. In the NLT version, it says, because you have sinned against the Lord, I will make you grope around like a blind, like the blind. Your blood will be poured into the dust, and your bodies will lie rotting on the ground. Wow, that's what's getting ready to happen. You know, you get ready to be like a mire in the street, disregarded. Verse 18, it said, neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of the Lord's wrath, but the whole land shall be devoured by the fire of his jealousy, for he shall make even a speedy riddance of all them that dwell in the land. So one thing about it is, you know, this is what's getting ready to happen. So your money is getting ready to be obsolete. It's getting ready to be worthless. And a lot of people are thinking right now what they have is going to sustain them. But one thing about it is, the Lord is not on your side. The Lord is going to make a speedy riddance of you with the fire of his jealousy. What is the fire of his jealousy? those IBCM missiles, what the indignation of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. The Lord is getting ready to burn this place with that fervent heat. All the elements, everything that you know and see is getting ready to be totally destroyed. And one thing about it, we're very close to that time. The clock is ticking. NLT version, it says here, it says, your silver and gold will not save you on that day of the Lord's anger, for the whole land will be devoured by the fire of his jealousy. He will make a terrifying end of all the people on the earth. And one thing about it, he won't make he will not make make an end of all peoples on the earth. Certain parts of the earth will be nuked. And one thing about it, we know that Israel will be nuked, but it will be rebuilt. And also we know that Babylon the Great will be totally destroyed, but it's no end of the people. So it will still be a remnant left here. So that's a little typo. So that's why you got to be able to, pick out the bones. So, but one thing about it is that, so we know exactly what it's saying though. So the Lord's going to destroy this place in 1 hour. So now let's go here to Revelation. Let's go to the meat of the lesson of this digital society. Let's go here to Revelation in the New Testament, Revelation chapter 13, because this is right where we at. Revelation chapter 13, we'll start up at verse 15. Revelation chapter 13, and we'll start up at verse 15. And it reads that, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and call that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. So that's what's getting ready to happen. So you get ready to make a choice. Either you're going to take it under the skin, or they will take you to one of these facilities, one of the quarantine camp, this FEMA camp, or these 15-minute cities, and you will be, whereby they will have shipping station there. Also that hokey pokey, it's getting ready to come back into play. And also we know that, if you do not decide to be a part of this society, you will be put to death. We already knowing that it will be a lot of martyrs that will be beheaded, but that's the way the Lord sided up. And one thing about it, their crown of life will be waiting on them. So one thing about it is that we will strive for the truth even to death, because what we trust and believe in Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. So we already know what is this beast. This is the revised Roman Empire. What is that image? This is what's coming up on us right now. This new digital society, this 5G blockchain system, which in fact is the new world order. One world currency, one world government. You know what I'm saying? One world religion. They want total control. That's what's coming. And if you don't want to be a part of it, they say you will be put to death. So we seeing it happening right before our eyes. But a lot of people are going to trust in the strength of Egypt, and they will be totally destroy this system. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people going to trust in this universal basic income. They're going to get enticed, and you will be totally destroyed. We constantly warn you once again. And it reads that, and he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark or the charagma in their right hand or in their forehead. Let's see what the NLT how it reads. It said, he requires everyone, small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to be given a mark on the right hand or on the forehead. Kind of read a little different, but it's pretty much the same thing. But so we're here, so that let's go into this mark right quick. Let's go into this mark. Let's get a little bit let's go into the interstellar right quick. Let's get a little bit more edification here. Let's go here to this mark. One moment. Let's go here to this mark. It's wow, it's popped right on. That's the spirit. Let's go here to G 5479, and it says here it's a charagma.
Strong's G 5480,
charagma. Let's see what it says here. It says a stamp and imprint mark. It says here, of the mark stamped or on the forehead or the right hand as the badge of the followers of the Antichrist, but we know that there's many Antichrists. But one thing about it is that we know that, you know what I'm saying, shall go into your right hand or into your forehead. You already know what Elon Musk, what he's doing right now with Neuralink, these lying wonders. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people will believe in that lie. And one thing about it, you know, you are going to be in for a nightmare. So we seeing this right here. That's what they're talking about. This grain of rice that's getting ready to come into play. This CBDC implantable under your skin. You understand what I'm saying? So let's go here to the etymology. Let's go into the Karax right quick. Let's get this right quick. It said here, this is going to be the applicator, the N word. You understand what I'm saying? I don't want to say that word, but you understand this is the thing that they're going to apply it with right here.
Strong's G 5482, Charax. Charax.
So it says here, it's a pale or steak or a pastel. You know what I'm saying? See what else we have here. It says sharpening to a point. See what else? A scratching. So, you know, pretty much let's see what the Strongs had. It says the same thing. It said steak, pastel, rapid. So you pretty much get the idea. And one thing about it that we know that we are very close to the this time, you know. So this is the applicator there, what they put that under your skin with, if you understand what I'm saying. Trying to say it in a way whereby, you know, they will not fuck with it. You know what I'm saying? So we understand. So now let's go back to the Charagma. Something else I wanted to get out of here. Let's drop down here to the Strong definition. It says here, the Strong definition says a scratch or etching or stamp. So as a badge of servitude. So one thing about it, you know, if you take that badge of servitude, you know what I'm saying, meaning that you're bound down to this image. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much you're worshiping this man in his system. And one thing about it, you're not trusted in your true power, and you will be totally destroyed. You know, Revelation chapter 14, you know, you will be cast in the lake of fire, which in fact is the second death. And what is the lake of fire? That is Babylon the Great, America. This place is getting ready to be a lake of fire. So now let's go back out. Let's go back to, let's start back up at verse 17. And it reads that, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, the Charagma, or the badge of servitude, of the name of the beast or the number of his name. So, hey, we seeing, hey, man, we're here. Let's read the NLT version. It said, and no one could buy or sell anything without that mark, the Charagma, which was either the name of the beast or the number representing his name. So we seeing right now and stuff like that. So we already know in order to be a part of this new digital programmable, implantable society, you're going to have to take it under the skin. And one thing about it, that they already have it already in play. This is the ultimate goal. All roads lead to this right here, total control. Verse 18 says, here is wisdom. Let him that has understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. You know, that's what that tri-stide stigma, you know what I'm saying? One thing about it, that's that badge of servitude, you know, it's that branding, that imprint, they're getting ready to brand you with, to track and tag you. Let's read it in the NLT. It said wisdom is needed here. Let the one with understanding solve the meaning of the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. His number is 666. So one thing about it, so we know, you know what I'm saying? And who has wisdom? That is the elect, the true believers of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. So now let's go here. Let's go here to Isaiah. Let's go here to Isaiah. Let's get them right quick out of Isaiah. Then we go into the KJV to second area. Let's go here to one moment. That's an Old Testament. Isaiah chapter 36. Let's get this one right quick. Isaiah chapter 36. Isaiah chapter 36 and verse 6 is what we want. Isaiah 36 and verse 6 in the KJV first. It said, lo, thou trusted in the staff of this broken reed on Egypt, wherein if a man lean, it will go into his hand and pierce it. So is Pharaoh, king of Egypt, to all that trust in him. So one thing about it is that we already know this broken reed, the staff of this broken reed is this system they'll get ready to put into play. This what beast banking system, this what 5G, 6G blockchain system. They get ready to try to make you a walking device, a walking Wi-Fi. And also, and one thing about it, if you trust in what Egypt, we already knowing that, a modern day Egypt is America, Babylon the Great. And also we know that Egypt goes into bondage. So we're in our land of our captivity right now. We're in the second Egypt, you know what I'm saying? So one thing about it, we see it right now, it said if a man lean or if a man trust or depend, shall go into his pierce his hand, you know what I'm saying? That charagma. And one thing about Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and about who is the modern day Pharaoh? That is the so-called white man, the devil that the Bible speaks of. And one thing about it, anyone that trusts in him, you will be totally destroyed right along with him. Let's read in the NLT. It said on Egypt, if you lean on Egypt, it will be like a reed that splendors beneath your weight and pierce your hand. Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, is completely unreliable. So one thing about it, so we seeing, man, the Bible's, is spot on. So we seeing that, that we're very close to these times. We seeing that, economic shift. We seeing that we are transitioning into this digital society. We seeing that a lot of uncertainty. We seeing that everything around is constantly declining. It's nothing the same. We already know about this April 8th solar eclipse. So we don't know what may come of this, but we know that things already had been prophesied. We already know that America will be destroyed. And also we know that our salvation at the door. And one thing about it, we cannot wait. So we constantly trusting and believe. We constantly keeping the faith. So we seeing that we're very close. Now let's go here. Let's go out of the blue letter. Let's go to the KJV. We'll start at in 2 Samuel chapter 15 and verse 15, because this is getting ready to happen. If they bring forth this digital society, it's going to cause all kind of mayhem. And also we know about this migrant crisis, and also this these sleepers there and civil war as fast as approach. All rumors of wars are all over the place. 2 Samuel chapter 15 and verse 15 said, for the sword in their destruction draws nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. So we already know this is what is going to happen very soon. They want this order out of chaos. We already know the modern day sword is the gun, all sorts of weaponry, all sorts of disorder, all sorts of rioting in the street, all sorts of things to get ready to happen. Verse 6, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be Egyptian against Egyptian, brother against brother, all sorts of mayhem. Verse 16 said, for there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their action shall stand in their power. So we already know right now, it's going to be sedition. When all hell break loose, when they take this fiat currency down, this old system down, and put it this new system, it's all sorts of hell is going to break loose. It's not going to regard the law enforcement. They're not going to regard the military. Also, they're not going to regard the government, anyone. You know what I'm saying? These government officials, and it's just going to be a lawless time right before our eyes. We're seeing it happening, and also we know that civil war is constantly brewing all over, the purge, all sorts of things are happening. Also, we know what's going on in Philadelphia, I think Pittsburgh, whereby they're not going to respond to certain to a 911 calls anymore. So they're already setting the stage. Verse 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able because of what? The lockdowns, the mandates, the checkpoints, all these things are coming into play. These UN troops are coming into play. You know what I'm saying? These FEMA camps, these 15-minute cities, smart city. These things are coming into play. A lot of things are getting ready to come. They get ready to restrict your movement. They want what? Total control, the main ultimate goal. Verse 18 said, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, and the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Verse 19, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because the lack of bread and great tribulation. So we know we're coming upon a great tribulation, the beginning of sorrows, and great mourning and great persecution is fast approaching. No internet, no resources. No shelter. Poverty is going to set in. Starvation is going to set in. A lot of things are coming down the pipeline. In the middle of the constantly warning, it's going to be a lot of desperation, a lot of sorrow, and what? Great death. The Lord's getting ready to bring forth a massive judgment. So let's switch over here to 2nd Ezra chapter 16. We'll start up at verse 18. 2nd Ezra chapter 16 and verse 18. It said, the beginning of sorrows and great mourning, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? What shall you do? So we know that we found an approach. We're at the beginning of sorrow, the struggle in Rebecca's womb. We're seeing that things are getting ready to escalate left and right. Things are constantly happening all around the world. We're seeing it just like a domino effect, and they constantly increasing each and every day. The evils are growing all around us. And one thing about it, they're going to get worse right before what? The great and glorious return of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua is right upon us. And also we know that famine of the word is fast approaching also, where they, the mouthpiece, the Lord is getting ready to close this truth down and bring forth all sorts of judgment upon this earth. Verse 19, it said, behold, famine, plagues, and tribulation, and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment. Verse 20 said, but for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. So right now, we're seeing a lot of people are not mindful right now. And they're not paying attention. They are constantly in their security. And one thing about it, they're in for a rude awakening. These evils are growing all around us. Verse 21 said, behold, victuals shall be good and cheap upon the earth, and they shall think themselves to be in good case. And even then shall evils grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. You know what I'm saying? So we're seeing that left and right. It's constantly growing all around us. Get your house in order. Get your mind right. Gird up your loins. You know what I'm saying? And seek your true power while he can be found. Because what? We are running out of time. You know what I'm saying? Jacob's trouble is upon us, fast approaching. Also, our salvation is at the door. We are rejoicing. Verse 22, it said, for many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. So one thing about it, if you escape one calamity, another one is going to take you out. We already know what that final judgment is. That is that fervent heat. You know what I'm saying? The fire of his jealousy. You know what I'm saying? It's going to take out the entire United States. You know what I'm saying? This place is going to be clean dissolved. If you're not getting beamed up, you're getting burnt up. If you love it here, you're getting ready to die here. We constantly warn you left and right. A lot of people right now still have that same mindset. And one thing about it is, we know that we're very close and the only way out of here if the Lord is on your side. So now let's drop down to 2nd Ezra chapter 16. Let's drop down to verse 69. 2nd Ezra chapter 68. 2nd Ezra chapter 16, Salaki, and let's start up at verse 67. Let's start up at 67. And it reads, but the Almighty himself is the judge. Fear him, leave off from your sins, and forget your iniquities, to meddle no more with them forever. So shall the Almighty Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua lead you forth and deliver you from all trouble. So one thing about it, it's time to return. It's time to repent. It's time to seek the Lord, right now, while he can be found. If the Lord is dealing with you, he's only coming back for that 1/3 remnant, the house of David, the true believers of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. The Lord is getting ready to return. The Lord is coming. So now one thing about it, we know that the Lord is going to do what? Deliver us with great glory and great power. The Lord is going to sustain us. He will provide for us. We don't have anything to worry about. Keep believing. Keep pushing. And the Lord is getting ready to show up. Verse 68 said, for behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you and feed you, being idols, with things offered to idols. So one thing about it, we already know this great multitude is already kindled over us. You already seeing that all these nations are getting ready to buck up. Also, we know that they have these sleeper cells in place. We know that America will be invaded. America will be totally destroyed. It's already be prophesied. In 1 hour, thy judgment come. And also, they get ready to feed you things being idols. We already know what that idol is. That is that MOTB, that grain of rice. You know what I'm saying? They want what? Total control. And you're going to be idle in one of these facilities, one of these FEMA camps. Also we know that those guillotines are getting ready to come into play if you do not be under compliance. One thing about it, either you accept or you're going to die. One thing about it, but the Lord is going to lift up the standard. And one thing about it, we knowing that things are getting ready to happen. We knowing that the Lord is getting ready to do a mighty work. Amen. We cannot wait. Verse 69 says, and they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and reproach and trodden underfoot. So one thing about it there, that's plain and simple. If you consent or if you submit, you will be trodden underfoot and you will have a reproach. And one thing about it, the Lord is going to destroy you in that fervent heat, the lake of fire, the second death. They shall know it, death by pain. Verse 7. It said, for they shall be in every place and in the next city, and a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. Verse 71, they shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord. It's talking about the elect. One thing about it is when this civil war breaks out, when that invading force come in here, the Lord is going to be protecting his true believers. So we don't, so we're going to have a hedge protection around it. The Lord is going to have it's going to sustain us, so we don't have anything to worry about. The Lord's going to lift up that standard. You know what I'm saying? Supernatural intervention is getting ready to come into play. So, hey, man, we're here. Verse 72 said, for they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Verse 73, then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as gold in the fire. So one thing about it, that even though we're going to see all this calamity and catastrophes going on all around us, but no harm will come towards you. So it's going to be a lawless time. We're going to see a lot of robbing, stealing, and killing. All sorts of things is going to be happening. But the Lord is going to protect us in the midst of all of that trouble. The Lord is going to sustain it. You know what I'm saying? One thing about it, the wisdom and knowledge should be the stability of time. So the Lord will be a stronghold in times of trouble. And one thing about it, then they shall know who are his chosen. And which, in fact, saying, hey, we constantly warn you left and right. It's in that day, they shall know that a prophet was among them, the true believers of Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua. So we know that we get ready to go through all these adversities, all these trials and great tribulation. That's why the Lord said in Acts chapter, I think it's verse 14 and 22, if I'm not mistaken, said, through much tribulation, ye shall enter the kingdom of heaven. So we already knowing that the evil is sown. But one thing about it, we knowing that the Lord is getting ready to bring forth the kingdom of heaven, that is sown in good. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're waiting for. That's what we're longing for each and every day. Immortality, rulership, spiritual power over the nation. The Lord is getting ready to reward us. All we must do is keep the course, keep pushing, keep the faith. You know what I'm saying? And one thing about it, the same that endure, the same shall be saved. So now, verse 74, it says here, Second Amos chapter 16 and verse 74 say, hear, O ye my beloved, says the Lord, behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same. So one thing about it, we know that the days of trouble are at hand, but Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua, will deliver you from the same. All we must do is constantly trust and believe in Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushua. The Lord is getting ready to return. The Lord is getting ready to set everything back into order. And also, the Lord is getting ready to bring forth that righteous judgment each and every day. And once again, the kingdom of heaven, it is fast approach. So the title of the day lesson, once again, is economic shift and rising tension. So I like to give all praises and honor and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahushua, Ba'ashim, Rekah Kwadash. I like to say, Shalom, Shalom.